Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, right here on LA Talk Radio.
That's right. It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. I'm on social medias pretty much everywhere. That's where you find me, at Sheena Metal. I'm also the founder of a movement of peace and love and kindness and unity. We're at IamRaisingTheVibration.com. That's our movement site, and our nonprofit movement site at RaisingTheVibration.org. Please join us there. It's where a lot of my heart lives. I also work in the spiritual world at IamRaisingYourVibration.com and at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. And it's kind of a new thing for me, working in the spiritual world and talking about it. Even a relatively new thing, doing it, although I've always considered myself to be a spiritual person, and that my spirituality guides and informs everything that I do. Along the way, while I just identified as a spiritual being, before I identified as a spiritual practitioner, I encountered many wonderful and beautiful people that helped me to on my journey. And one of those wonderful, beautiful, and incredible people is going to be our guest today, along with another guest, maybe two. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole story. Sometimes even I don't have all the details before they happen. I'm going to put him in the Skype system and give him a call. He's going to be here soon. He's leaving a class that he is teaching. And he is, of course, the wonderful Michael Hennessy. Michael was the first person that I called after I got the download to start my movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity, RaisingTheVibration.org. I didn't even know if I could do it, and I called him, and of course he encouraged me to do so because that's just who he is. So it's always wonderful to be around Michael and to be near him and to have him on the show. And this is a very important thing that he has coming up. I'm going to let him tell you about. I think this is the third year that they've been here talking about this, but they do it every year for a very special anniversary in our country, and that, of course, is the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. And there are even more things I want to say to him about that, but before I do, I'm going to get him on the phone and let him tell you what it's about, and then, of course, we will do. I'll tell you what's been on my mind spiritually and what comes to me every year as this anniversary approaches. This is an interesting time in our world, I think. I'm teaching a class tomorrow night. If you want information, please, I'd love to have you in the class online, starofthedark.com. It's an interesting time in that if ever we didn't believe there was a balance of good and evil in our world, we certainly now are seeing it play out all over the world, even in our country in many different ways. People who are utterly self-focused and people who care about other people. And to me, that in some way, that's where the line between light and dark gets drawn. Probably everybody wouldn't agree with me there, but for me, that's where the line gets drawn. So I'm trying to find. Here we go. And when you put a typo in somebody's name, that's why it doesn't come up when you put it in the system. All right, we're gonna get Michael on with us now. That was the beginning of the Skype dance. Bloop bloop bloop. Do 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 do. I'm singing it. I don't know why I bothered to not turn it on, because I always sing it.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. It's good to have you here.
Me too. I feel like I'm in the room, even though I'm not. I'm almost there.
You're in the room where it happened almost.
Amen. Amen.
It's so wonderful to have you here with me. I was just talking a little bit before you picked up the phone about how, even before I really talked about being a spiritual practitioner, when I just identified as a spiritual person, you were one of the people that I discussed a lot of spiritual things with, and how honored I am, and how you were the first person I told that I was going to found this movement. And as soon as I got the download, I made a call to you. You were the first person who knew.
Yep, I think I still have the voicemail.
Oh, I left it on your voicemail? Insane. I'm insane, Michael.
You did. You said, I know what I'm supposed to do now.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. It was right after we had that 2-hour crystal bowl ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
the election.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful voicemail. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that interesting? And I really feel like the universe had you the universe guided you to have me come to your house that night, the day after the election, the day the results were announced, of course, after midnight that night. So it was the following night, the night of the 9th, which was my mother's birthday. And I had just gotten off the air, and I was devastated. And I came over to your house, and that next day, and we did the crystal ball, and we did a Facebook Live for people. I'd never done Facebook Live before. It was my first one. We did a Facebook Live to check in.
Right. I forgot about that.
And make sure everybody was okay. You knew how to do it because you're an old pro. I had no idea how to do it. And you said, what are we going to call it? And I said, you said, let's raise the vibration. I said, we're going to call it Raising the Vibration of the Nation. And then who knew that would wind up being the title of the movement? And it was literally the next day, because I told you that since my mom died, and even a little before, I was like, what is the next phase of my life? I just don't know. And you were like, just stay cool. The universe will reveal it. And then lo and behold, the next day, about 11 o'clock in the morning, the universe was like, here's the next phase of your life. Enjoy. And you've been so wonderful.
The universe is always waiting for those who are willing.
Right.
And just allowing and not resisting.
Right, exactly.
People resist.
I know.
They resist all the time.
Well,
and just let the universe do what the universe wants to do.
I agree.
And your life will be amazing.
Well, I think we're told that change is bad, right? We're conditioned that nothing should ever change, and change is bad. And we talk about, I heard this wonderful thing on the news.
Only changing diapers is bad.
I'm sorry?
Other than that,
Only change of what?
When it's number 2. Changing diapers.
Oh,
when
God,
it's
yes.
number 2, that's bad.
But
change in itself is great.
But is that really bad? Because doesn't that just prove that your newborn has a healthy digestive system?
Yeah, well, I was a babysitter for many, 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 many years.
I'm sorry.
So that was the worst thing that's the only thing I didn't like about it.
Yeah,
I loved doing it. I was the neighborhood babysitter.
I never
but
babysat
babies.
babies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was.
By the time I
bad.
babysat them, they were out of their diapers. I only babysat elementary school kids, and I loved it. It was fun. I loved it. I don't know that I could do the diapers. I you know what? I'm sure if it was mine, I would find a way to figure out how to do the diapers. I think life is a never-ending series of doing things you thought you'd never do and finding out that you can do them. So,
Amen.
I say no to nothing now and yes to everything.
Right.
Until I know different. Until I know it's not a good idea. Until I know different. So is this, I said before you got on the line, sweetheart, is this the 3rd year you've promoted this here with me?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
And is it the 3rd year you've done it, or is it the 4th year?
Yes. 3rd year.
Okay.
3rd year. We did it because I met Elizabeth in June of 2017.
Okay.
So we did it that first year that we met.
It's awesome.
And I got to read her story, and it was just amazing.
It's
I'm
wonderful.
like, we need to do more of this. So, yeah.
It's beautiful. And have you always done it at the Loft Ensemble?
We have, yep. They were the first people I thought of. I have some friends over there. Stephanie Jones is amazing, and I love the Loft Ensemble. I've been to many of their productions, and we had just filmed something there for the web series that you and I are in, Child of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, ooh, we could do it here. And I asked Bree, and Bree's like, oh, of course. It's a no-brainer. Of course you can do it here.
Isn't she wonderful?
So
I love her.
Yeah, I love Bree. I'm going to see her on Monday. We're going into to see the new space.
It's beautiful. I was at the opening party. It's wonderful.
I may actually go Sunday, they have a new play there. I may actually go Sunday to see it.
Wonderful. Yeah, all of their plays are fantastic, right? Their Macbeth literally knocked me on my ass.
I've never seen a bad play there. Every play is like, what? And I always think, why aren't all these actors guest starring or starring on TV? Because all of the actors are just mind-blowingly Oscar-worthy, Tony-worthy actors. They're just, Mitch, the guy Mitch that I met, he directs now too, and he's the director over there.
He's been here many times.
Just,
he's wonderful.
I love the Loft Ensemble. I can't say enough about them.
Do you know, I think the answer to your question is because most of them are fresh out of drama school. I watch their shows and I think, where are they all going to be in 10 years? And I'm going to be able to say I saw you in something when you just got out of school.
Oh my God, they're going to go so far.
Yeah.
So far.
Yes. They're all wonderful. I think that's fantastic. So set up, before you come in studio with me, just set up a little bit about the history of how this came to be and what it's called and when it is. Let's keep saying that so people can come out and see it on 9/11.
Sure. Yeah. It's called the 9 to 11 minute stories and plays, inspired by the events of 9/11. So what had happened was 2 years ago, Elizabeth Regan, who's one of the greatest teachers of our time, acting teachers, writing teachers, she's just phenomenal. I had the honor of meeting her 2 years ago. She came to Kooky Clubhouse, actually, for one of the shows.
Wow.
And I got to meet her there, and I met her through Michael.
That's right.
I met her. Michael Vaccaro.
I met her there, too. And, that's where I met her, too, because I was in Kooky, right? That's where I met her.
Yep. She was there in 9/11 when it actually happened, and her father passed away from 9/11 related cancers. I believe 4 of them. And so she saw a short story writing contest at the Samuel French bookstore, which is sadly no longer there anymore. And she wrote something like the day before it was due, and she submitted it, and it was accepted. And it was called Happy Sweet 16. And it's a combination of characters that actually tell her true life story.
Wow.
About what happened to her. And a friend of hers true life story as well, like a combination of 2 stories told within the context of a therapist section, a therapist session. And it's just amazing. So I had the honor of reading it at Samuel French with our friend Mel England.
Yes, brilliant.
Read one of the characters,
right.
And I got to narrate it. So we did it, and then we had lunch, and I got so inspired by it. It's such a beautiful piece, and people really responded to it. And she took us out to lunch to thank us afterwards. And I said to her, I said, I was getting goosebumps and like butterflies. And I said, what you did was amazing. I said, I believe there's so many people that want to tell their story. I said, I think we need to set up something. You and I need to set up a place where people can come and write and tell their stories about their own experience with 9/11.
I love it.
And she's like, wow, you think? And I go, yeah. I said, it's so powerful, and especially on the West Coast, a lot of people don't really relate as much to it because they weren't because they weren't physically there.
Right.
Like the people who are physically there, like their stories are like mind-blowing, what they saw and what they went through. It's like, I was living here. I have no idea. So she said, well, that sounds great. And this was like 3 weeks before 9/11, before like 9/11, 2017. So she says, well, maybe we should just start putting it together and then do it next year. And she said, you think? And I said, nah, let's just throw something together and do it.
That's not how you roll.
It's going to be happening in 3 weeks, 9/11. She goes, well, we need a space. I said, I'll find a space. Like, we need actors. We got actors. We need other people to submit their pieces. So we put it out, and people from all over the country started submitting pieces of their experiences on 9/11.
Wow.
And we went through all the pieces, and we selected the most amazing pieces to read.
Wow.
And we started rehearsing it and talking about it in the class. And I called the loft. It was like the first place that I went to. And it's like, yeah, of course. We would be honored to do that. So we had the place. I went and ordered like a banner thing. We put together a little like ad for it, a little flyer. I actually put up an ad at Samuel French for writers and actors, and there was an actress like that came in while I was there, and she took it, and she actually came the first year and was one of the readers. So it was like really, really wonderful. It just took off, and we had it was a full house the first year, and we had standing room only, and we're doing it in memory of her father, who passed away a year before. She wrote the story for her dad, the short play, Sweet 16, and that short play is actually our centerpiece of the whole evening. We do it right in the middle, and it's still as powerful, still beautiful. It's still I just can't say enough about it. And we did it again last year, and the first year we benefited a group called Tuesday's Child, and what they do is they take care of all of the children who lost parents from 9/11.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of children were still in the bellies of moms, husbands on 9/11.
Wow.
So the first year we benefited them, and it was amazing. And last year we benefited the Feel Good Foundation, who actually help first responders from 9/11 and their families. It's the same people that John Stewart fights for.
That's beautiful.
To get help for the first responders. So we did it to benefit them, and now we're doing it again to benefit them as well. And we love John Feel. We love the Feel. It's John Feel is his name, and it's the Feel Good Foundation. It's just so amazing what they do. So last year we did it, and my friend, who's your friend as well, Dee Wallace, was our celebrity guest who came and read one of Elizabeth's pieces called Angelique, and it was just so amazing and so wonderful. And yeah, I can't say enough about it. And we're so excited that we have this year. We're doing it again at the Loft, and this is their new space. We're doing it their new space on Camarillo Avenue in North Holland. So we're very, very, very excited about that.
So wonderful.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
It's a truly beautiful space. I was there for their opening party, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and it's powerful, and it's just, I mean, and the thing is, people are like, well, it's 9/11, it's so sad, and the thing is, it's okay to feel that. It's okay to come and feel sad. It's okay to have that, those feelings. Because people are like, I don't want to come and get depressed, and it's like, you won't be depressed. You'll be sad, but it's a beautiful sad. It's like people go to the movies all the time to watch people get shot and get their gores ripped out. It's like, come and hear these true stories of what these people went through on 9/11, what they saw, and how it's transformed their life. My friend Jim, we have the honor of telling his story. He was a teacher on that day in Jersey, and he watched the buildings fall from his classroom. Students were there. He was teaching, I think, 11th grade, I want to say, 10th, 11th grade. And, it's just, these stories are amazing. And the actors we have are just, they're just so beautiful and amazing. And they've all dedicated their time to come out and present these pieces, which are not easy. They're not easy to do because, I mean, I cry every time I do the one piece that I do, which is a true account of a news director at a news station somewhere here on the West Coast, what he went through for 8 hours. And it is just so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. It's just, but it's beautiful, and we need to feel that. And people need to not be afraid to feel that because it's okay. It's okay, and we're honoring and we're remembering the people who've already passed, and we're honoring the people who are still here that actually went through that tragic day.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know if I know I've told this story. I don't know if I've told it on the air with you here, that I actually my co-host and I at the time on 97.1, the Howard Stern station, FM Talk, we got called in because Howard had to leave, because Howard Stern had to leave because of where he was located in Manhattan. And they basically threw Tom Likas on the air. And we got a call from the program director, and he was like, Tom's been on the air since 6 o'clock in the morning, and he needs a break. Can you come in tonight?
Wow.
And we went in and covered the night and the next night and every weekend for that month. All we did, we were on 24/7. We talked about nothing but 9/11. And even before I knew, Michael, that I was a spiritual counselor, let me tell you something. I did some counseling that night because people were just, it was everything from people who knew people on the planes to people who knew people in Tribeca to people who knew people, had been in a terrorist attack before in their life. I mean, people who were just terrified. And I said before you got here, I'm sorry?
And by the way, I'm getting off at Woodman right now.
Oh, good.
So do I just park underneath, or should I just park on the street?
Park right behind me. If you go up and you go in a couple spaces and you turn to the left and you see a black car with temp plates, it looks just like my other black car, that's me.
Okay, cool.
And then just come on up.
I'm getting off of Woodman now.
I was saying this before. No, it's okay. I was saying this before you came on, that I wanted to talk about this, but I wanted to wait until you got here. That I believe that our country has never recovered from the shock of 9/11.
No. Not at all.
And I think that we are forever going to, our whole country could honestly use some therapy from what we dealt with during that.
This is therapy. This show is definitely therapeutic. I mean, people will leave like just feeling and knowing what people went through, and just, and if they weren't there, I mean, or if some of the people are like, they were like, kids. Some of the actors that are reading, they were young. They were really young when this happened, and it changed their outlook on life forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it changed everybody's outlook on life, but for the kids especially, it's like, it's just like they were born, or they grew up in like almost like a war-torn world because of 9/11. Mm-hmm. And it's just people need to not forget. They need to not forget. They don't need to dwell on it, but they need to not forget, and they need to embrace each other. We need to just hug people.
More hugging.
Not a stranger on the street. It's like, hey, hug.
I do hug. I do hug sometimes strangers on the street, Michael. I do hug strangers on the street.
I do too. Well, people want to hug me. I don't know why.
Well,
people follow me all the time.
Because you're dressed like a clown or a giant fuzzy shark, usually. I said because you're dressed like a clown or a giant fuzzy shark, usually. Most
of the time, yeah. I'll tell you all about my last amazing clown shoot that I did. It was amazing.
Nice.
Very, very powerful. You'll love it. You're going to cry when I tell you. It's called beautiful. Tears of a Clown, but I'll tell you all about it later.
It's wonderful.
So, but people just really need to, just not forget and just hear people's stories. I mean, everyone has a story, whether they were here or they were there or somewhere else. Everyone has a story to tell of where they were on that day.
Yeah.
And some of the stories, man, they're just heartbreaking. But it's just, again, beautiful to hear. And again, we need to experience those emotions. People need to not be afraid, because it is very, very therapeutic.
I agree. Well, and we need to understand that it's something that we have not recovered from yet. That is something that we are still battling with, because I think it's that it's that fear that sometimes people, when they have an infected wound, they're scared to like rip off the scab and put the medicine in. But so we've just sort of covered up this scab of how painful we all feel from this episode, and acted like, oh yeah, that happened, but we got past it because we're Americans. But it really set off a chain of events in our country of people being very, very hurt, and then transferring those feelings of hurt out of what they're really hurt about into thinking they're hurt about something else. And I believe it was
Right.
it was not the beginning, certainly, because the beginning was the beginning of mankind, but it certainly escalated the divisiveness in our country because
It did. It
made
absolutely
people
did.
became defensive. When you think somebody's going to come and drive a plane into your work, suddenly you become defensive, and it drove a further wedge between white people who are full of fear and people of color
Yep.
and all minorities. And that guy in a wheelchair could be sitting on a bomb. I mean, we just started to think that anybody that's different could be the terrorist. And I think we're terrified on planes. If we see anybody who looks different, we think, oh my God, that one's got dynamite strapped to the dog. I know it. And we started to, and when people get into a fear consciousness, all hell breaks loose. And I think that's really what happened, was just this overwhelming amount of fear that happened. And how hard it is for the human animal, because we're a relatively new species, and whereas my mama used to say, just smart enough to be dangerous, to get out of that fear consciousness once we get in it is a very difficult thing. And I think that like maybe to be a citizen, so funny because my good friend Ray Don Chong always talks about how there should be a secretary of hugs in the president's cabinet, a secretary of love and hugs. I really think that there should be a mandatory therapy session for all Americans that you should have to take, like paying your taxes, to just let a little bit of the fear out of how we are all so terrified we're going to be attacked again. I mean, look what happened after Pearl Harbor, right? We rounded up a bunch of innocent Japanese people. Some had been here for 100 years, and we stuck them in concentration camps in our own, I guess more like prisoner of war camps, but, not terrific, in our own country, even after we were fighting against the Nazis putting other people in concentration camps. So then because we were so fearful. And that's what fear does to people. And I think we see a lot of things now in our world that, including all the internet troll fighting, right? That's all just a complete reaction.
Based on fear. That's
fear.
it. It's just reactive and fearful.
If you're scared somebody's going to come and take away Yep. And it's killed the abundance consciousness that we should have. It's put a big chink in that. It's really put a chink in that armor of believing in abundance. And, I always think of the Nostradamus predictions, right? He always said that he saw two worlds in his predictions. There was one where there was a lot of war and tanks and fighting and everything was very dark and smoky. And then there was one that looked more like a garden and a paradise, and that human beings, universe told him, we're going to get to choose the outcome. And it was up to humans to choose the outcome.
Wow.
I'm
choosing the garden.
Me too. We got to get back to the garden. Isn't that lovely line? I love that song, Woodstock. Isn't that the song from Woodstock? And we've got to get back to the garden. I love that. I'm going to put that in my playlist for my church service, Saturday Night Spiritual, because I'm putting together a playlist of like pre-service music. Like if I'm in the car and I hear a song and I'm like, ooh, that one's about love or that one's about peace, I really quick put it in my phone. So I'm going to make a mixtape for God, Michael.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm making God a mixtape.
Look to your right.
Oh, come on in. There's a beautiful man outside my window. So now I may properly introduce in person. Sit right here, sweetheart, next to me, so you can be on camera. My wonderful friend, Michael Hennessy, is here. Hi, darling. It's so good to see you. How are you?
Hi, I'm great.
Great.
It's nice to see you.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
You can pull that right up to you, darling.
I can.
Oh, you got to turn off your phone because we have an echo.
Sorry.
Echo.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. No more echo.
Hey.
Hi. Pull that mic up next to you so it's nice and close. Because Mama's got the fan on.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Look how beautiful you look with all your necklaces.
Thank you.
Oh, those
this
are gorgeous.
This is new. It's a Metatron.
It's beautiful.
And it has all the chakras in here.
I need to get you a necklace. I'm going to find you a beautiful necklace.
And this someone gave this to me at Saddle Up.
Wow.
There's a woman who, I said to her, I said, I work at it, because she was wearing one similar. And I said, I saw one of these where I work and I wanted to go in and buy it, but the gift store was never open when I was working there at the temple. It was only open at night. So she said, well, here, let me give you this. So she gave me this first. She gave me this bracelet that has one on there. And then she gave me a ring. And then she said, here, don't have a heart attack, but I want to give you this. And she gave me this too.
Wow.
And I said, well, how much do I owe you? She said, no. You're hosting this event and you're dedicating your time. I want to give you something. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. like, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And she wouldn't accept anything. And I'm like, and I hugged her.
I love that.
Hug therapy.
Of course, the Saddle Up, we go every year to you host it, the gala, Saddle Up to benefit Life Group LA and our beautiful friend Sunny Rose.
Yes.
So,
Sunny.
so wonderful.
Hi.
Do you have a tree of life?
I do. Not on me though.
Do you have a tree of life necklace?
I do.
All right. I'm going to find something you don't have.
Well, let me think. Let me see. The thing I have, I think it's a tree of life.
Okay. Send me a
from
picture.
Salem. Okay.
If not, I'm going to get you a tree of life.
Okay, good.
Do you have a triquetra?
I don't know.
A Celtic triquetra? Looks like this. Everybody, it's the triangle. Do you have one of these?
That I do not.
Okay.
No.
If I don't get you a tree of life, I'm going to get you a triquetra.
Okay.
It symbolizes your three phases of life.
Ooh.
You know, when you're young, when you're an adult, and then when you become. So for women, it's first you're the lass, right? And then you're the mother, and then last you're the wise woman teacher. You're the medicine woman. So of the same kind of thing. It's like you're youngin', then you're an adult, and then you in your older days you become a teacher. And I love that idea. So you don't expire when you become a senior citizen. You become somebody who passes their wisdom on. And I think that is such a beautiful thing that we all should think of our elders like that.
Yes.
And
well, they do. Like in a lot of countries, they have great respect for their elders. I mean, me personally,
you have not.
I worked.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I worked in nursing homes for about 7 years.
Wow.
And it was some of the best years of my life. I mean, I sat with many patients in their last moments and just held them and was there for them. And I actually am doing a short film that our friend Billy Clift actually said he would direct.
The best.
Which is a story that changed my life. Can I share it?
Yes,
about this woman
please.
Okay. So I was 16. So there's a nursing home in my town, Woburn, Massachusetts. And I wanted to work there so bad. So I got in. My cousin Janice was working there. My other cousins were working there. My cousin Janice was a chef there. She made all the food and stuff. And I got in there when I was 15, but I could only be a dishwasher, which was great. I did the dishes. On my 16th birthday, I got to work with the patients, and I loved it. So I mainly worked with the men, but I hung out on my breaks with all of them. Hung out in the hung out in the recreation room and stuff. And there was this one woman named Lena Swain. I'll never forget her. She turned 98 years old, and we brought her in a cake and everything. And she looked like Sophia Petrillo from Golden Girls.
Nice.
And we celebrated her 98th birthday, and then a friend of mine said, "Could you work tonight?" Because I was only 16.
Okay.
So you couldn't work past 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Back in those days. So I was like, "Yeah, I need the extra money, so I'll work a little later." So I'm doing rounds at 10 o'clock, and I'll never forget this because it changed my life forever. Doing rounds at 10 o'clock, and I hear crying coming from Lena's room. And I walk in, and she's the third bed closest to the window. And she's crying. And I said, Lena, honey, what's wrong? And she's squinting up. She's like, who's there? And I go, it's me, Michael. And she takes my hand. She's like, Michael, I'm 98 years old today. And I said, I know. We had a party for you and a cake. No. She goes, no. I'm 98 years old, and I've never done what I wanted to do with my life.
Oh.
And I said, what are you talking about? What is it that you wanted to do with your life? She looked at me and she said, I always wanted to be a dancer. And I said, well, why weren't you a dancer? She said, because I was told that I had to get married, then I had to have children, then I had to take care of my children's children, then I had to be a grandmother, and I never got to do what I wanted to do. And I said, you know what? Well, that's a crying shame. I said, we need to change that. She said, what do you mean? And I took the little bar down. I turned on the radio. I said, come on. She goes, what are we doing? I said, we're going to dance. And we danced for 2 songs. I was right in front of the window. The moon was coming in. It was like a perfect moon coming in. And I put her back down, and she was crying. And I kissed her forehead, and I said, there, now you're a dancer. And she said, thank you. Thank you so much. So I came in the next day, and I was crying. She was crying. I came in the next day, and I went to see her, and she had passed during the night. And I'm going to cry thinking about it. Literally in that moment, I made the decision to never not do what my heart was telling me to do. And I would never do what I wasn't happy doing.
Sure.
And ever since that day, I never have. Every job I've ever had, I loved. I had one job I didn't like within the first couple of weeks, and I said, you know what? This isn't going to work out. And they're like, really? And I said, you know, I don't want to waste your time. I'm not happy here. So, you know, and I'm happy to say that that's the way my life, and it was because of what happened to Lena. I realized that, you know, she didn't have a chance to live her dream. And I gave her that one moment, and it was literally her final moment.
So beautiful.
So I went from, I was going this direction, and I ended up going that direction.
Look at how beautiful you are.
And so when anyone ever complains they don't like their job, I said, get a different job.
Yeah.
Well, I have kids. Well, figure it out. If you're not happy where you are, shut up and get something else. Figure out what you love and what you want.
Advice from Mike.
There's no excuse. There's just no excuse. People are like, well, I have to support a family. You do, but you can start making plans for a change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to quit your job today.
Yes.
But like make a plan. What do you want to do? What is it that you want to do with your life? And then do it.
Yeah.
Because like that's what this thing right here says. Love what you do.
I love that.
Where's the camera?
Nice.
It says
right there.
love what you do. I got this.
That silver thing with the lens on it.
Yeah. In Provincetown 3 years ago, a wonderful lesbian makes these handmade pieces in Provincetown. And it says, love what you do. And I wear it all the time. And that's one of my mottos, that you have to love what you do. If you don't do it.
Yeah.
Why would you do something you don't love? I don't get it.
I had a guy, because, you know, I started with a local television show that I wrote and was in when I was in my early 20s. And about 15 years afterwards, I had done the time on the Stern station, and I was feeling kind of disillusioned. It was before I came here. So I had started working promoting music, which had been my living before radio. I went back to that because it felt good to just sit in bars and listen to people feel good, right? And I thought, listen to people enjoy music and feel good. And so I was sitting there one night, and up came my friend Rob that I hadn't seen in 15 years, who was part of the cast of my show. We had been very close and just drifted away. And he said, oh, my God, you look beautiful. And I said, you look beautiful. And we chit-chatted. He was like one of my spiritual friends like you. And then he said, so what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm doing this. And I started this, you know, music association to help musicians connect. And I'm working as a journalist, and I'm doing this. And he said, yeah, but are you on stage? What are you doing? And I said, I've just kind of given everything a break because I've been really busy. And he said, okay. He said, when are you going to get back on stage? He said, I feel like I saw you tonight just to tell you to get back on stage. And we made plans to see each other. And then we didn't, because that's how busy you get. And a month later, I got a text from his husband that he had a seizure, and they found out that he had stage 4 lymphoma.
Wow.
And I was planning to go see him a week later. I was going to see him on Saturday. Friday night, I had a dream. He came to my front door. He looked amazing, and everybody said, be prepared when you see Robbie. He does not look great. And I said, hey, you want to come in for something to eat? And he's like, no, I just came by to tell you I love you and to ask you when you're going to be in something I can see. And he's like, I got a lot of people to visit tonight. I got to go. So I got up in the morning, didn't hear from Ray. Monday morning, a friend called me and told me that Friday night Rob had died.
Wow.
And so I promised myself that I would never not do what I was being called to do, and that I would not give up on my art because I felt like I couldn't make it, or too many people told me, oh, you'll never make it because you're fat, or you're this, or you're not the right kind of woman, or you're not the right kind of this. And I went back to doing a little radio show locally in Hollywood, and then a couple months later, I wound up here. So that's why I always say yes to things, like when you ask me to be in Kooky, right?
Yeah.
I always say yes to things.
Yeah.
Is why I keep, as much as I can, I do the vagina monologues. I try to do a play every year because I don't want to forget who I am.
Exactly.
And I think Rob was really a reminder of that.
Yes.
It was interesting when I told my mom that he had died. She said, "There's something about him. He never really seemed permanent to me." Which I think is a kind of a very interesting take on it. But
wow, thank you, Rob.
Yes.
Hi, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Lena.
You would have had a much different nanny if it hadn't been for Rob. Well, because I think you're constantly being told by society who you should be and what you should do.
Yeah.
And that's a lot different than what Spirit's telling you, and we need to learn to differentiate between the two.
Yes.
What is this beautiful thing?
So I just got this actually
crystals in it?
just yesterday, yes. So I ordered this a while ago. This is called the Qui Coil. So what it is it balances your yin and your yang. So right now, it's actually on Life Force. It's on a Life Force meditation.
Oh.
And it's putting out a 3-foot electromagnetic shield right now around us.
That's why I feel like I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this guy designed it and developed it. I have the yang as well. There's a yin and there's a yang. So there's 2 of them. And this one, it's just because I'm bringing it to the rehearsal tonight too. So we're rehearsing for 9/11. I'm going to play it all night, like as we're rehearsing. It just literally goes in. It helps with your cells. It helps with healing. It helps with sleep. I played the sleep one last night. I was out like that.
Wow.
It was amazing. It just pulsates this electromagnetic.
Wow.
Like 3 feet of it. 3 feet.
Now, that's probably ridiculous that I don't know this, but is the yin or the yang, one's the feminine, one's the masculine, right?
Yes.
Does it matter which is which?
No. I think because the yin and the yang, it's like this is the yin, and I think it's the feminine expands and the masculine contracts.
Okay.
So it's like the positive and the negative.
Okay.
So like this one is the yang. You can only use it once a day for 20 minutes because it's that powerful.
Right.
It's really powerful.
Because you got to be careful where you put your yang.
You do. Yang. Oh, no, she didn't.
Don't
yes,
just put
she
your
did.
yang anywhere, people.
Mm-hmm.
But your yang, that can be anywhere.
But I'm going to be, I'm now introducing this into my Reiki practice.
Good.
So I'll be using it with every single client that comes in.
Beautiful.
I will be doing Qui Coils with
Nice.
them. And I mean, I meditated with it for the first time yesterday.
May I touch your yang?
Oh yeah, you can touch it. You can't feel anything.
No, you can.
You can,
No,
but
no, God,
it's
you
not.
can.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you can. It's amazing.
Right?
It's
Right?
amazing.
Isn't it amazing?
I'm gonna crawl up on. I'm gonna sit on it and take a nap.
Because like your whole back just starts to tingle.
Your whole body goes.
Yeah. So I used it yesterday. I did some meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It has like an abundance breakthrough thing. It has so much stuff, balancing your chi, all the stuff on it. And I did my meditation. I meditate twice a day. I do Vedic meditation, and I did my 20 minutes, and I had this on my lap while I was meditating.
Wow.
And I kid you not, because I have my eyes closed, and it's silent meditation. Vedic is just silent.
Right.
And when I was done, I felt like my head was hitting the ceiling.
Man.
It was like I felt like I was literally floating up in the air, and I was like, "Woo! What was that?"
That's beautiful.
So yes, this is my new best friend when I meditate. And the great thing is that you can carry it around all the time. It has an energy booster.
Mm-hmm.
You can boost your energy. It's like a natural way to boost your energy. So it has a low, medium, and high. So if you really need a lot of energy, put it on high. If you just need a little boost, you can put it on low. But I love it as an actor. I love it as a healer. I love it as a writer.
Sure.
As a person, it's going to
same channel, right? You get all your messages.
So this is what it looks like, guys, so you can see it. And I'm like I've only had these for a little over 24 hours, and it's already brought a transformation in my life. So I can't imagine where I'm going to be at in the next week.
That's beautiful.
Because it completely balances the yin and the yang. And the yang is all about it completely brings in abundance of wealth, abundance of health, abundance of happiness. It's the yang is all about bringing it in. You attracting that in for your life. So
wow.
So yeah, I'm so excited about it, and
That's
I can't wait
beautiful.
to play with these with everyone tonight too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
you have the best gadgets, and Michael is also the Reiki master for my vibration council for my movement. So
yes,
I want to always make sure that I say that because we're putting together such a nice little group of spiritual practitioners.
And I'm doing a special for the 9/11 event.
Oh, good.
As well. So people, if they call me to book for the next I think 6 days now till 9/11.
Okay.
Excuse me. If they live here and they do an hour session with me, they also get a ticket to the event.
Oh, nice.
And they don't have to do their session in the next week, it's good for a year.
Okay.
So they can call and book a session with me now, and it's good. It'll be good for 1 year. They'll have like a little thing that says from, September 5th, you have 1 year to use your Reiki. I do the biomat now. You've been on the biomat, right?
I have been on the biomat. Yes, I want
Can
to
you
lay. I've
imagine
never
what-
laid on it, but I need to.
Can you imagine what this is going to be like with the biomat?
Oh,
I
God.
haven't even tried it yet.
No, I'll
So
come be
the-
your guinea pig.
So the biomat, for those of you who don't know, it's a pure amethyst mat. It helps with detoxifying. It helps with anxiety. I have actors that come and lay on it before an audition. They book the audition
Wow,
because
that's
it
why.
literally melts away.
That's why I need to come lay on it. I've had just a horrible time with anxiety this last month since
Oh.
my health got wacky.
It'll be gone. It'll be gone.
Yeah.
So people can book, and then if they can't make it, they can to the event. I'm making like a $20 donation to the Feel Good Foundation, and Reiki and the readings can be done from anywhere. So if you live like somewhere around the country, you can also book the sessions with me as well.
That's
And
true.
again, you can book them now, so you can donate to this event,
Mm.
and then you can use the booking anytime within the next 1 year.
That's wonderful.
66 days. Isn't next year a leap year?
Oh, is it?
I think it is. 2020.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
That crazy 2020.
It's Barbara Walters' year.
Oh my goodness.
2020. My name is Barbara Walters. This is 2020.
I'm
So,
doing a
hi.
reading special right now. I'm doing one of my one question $25 reading specials too because I just feel like September's a hard month for folks.
Yeah.
It's usually a good month
Yeah.
for me. Fall is my good time.
Me too. My birthday's in October, yo.
Yeah, I know. I love the fall.
Mhm.
I love the fall. Summers are oftentimes hard for me. I don't know why. A lot of weird summers and winters.
Yeah.
More weird things have happened in those months. August is traditionally a tough month for me, and March. It's weird how you have certain months but many good things have happened in both of those months.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting. It's interesting how it all plays itself out.
And I wonder, because like our friend Dee always says, and people have said this, many people have said this, but our belief system is all pretty much formed in the first 6 years of our life.
Okay.
Not like religious belief, but like our belief, like in money, in love, relationships.
Sure.
It's everything we see happen around us for the first 6 to 7 years. That's exactly what we carry into the rest of our life.
Yes, that is
So
true.
we need to like re-look at that, investigate that, and start changing it.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't have to be. Because I grew up, we were on welfare, we have government cheese in the projects. People killed themselves outside my window. I mean, it was a really tragic place that I grew up in. But that can't be my reality all the time. There was fighting. My mother got abused in front of me daily by her mother.
Yeah.
She would beat her in front of me and call her a fat pig and a whore and a slut. And that's what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I grew up with. So it's like we have to step away from that and say, that's what I saw, but this is who I want to be. And we need to redesign our blueprint, if you will.
I agree. I
So,
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
feeling the tingling now down my back.
I 100% agree with that. I work in narcissist awareness, and recovery.
Whatever. I knew that.
And
I knew you were going to say that.
and I tell people all the time, just because you've had a narc in your life doesn't mean your whole life has to be nothing but a narc parade. You can move past it and you can be happy again.
Yes.
It is possible. And I think some people think that you're never going to get past your isms because so much of our cultural ideology is just to medicate your isms. Oh, you got anxiety? Take 50 pills. You got this problem? Take this. You got this problem?
Got
Take that.
anxiety. This is what you need.
But never feeling like you're ever going to actually get past it to the point where you're actually ever going to really get better. That makes me sad because.
And why do you think because people and it's with health too, when people are like sick. And I know it was for me, and I will admit this. Dee and I have had this conversation. She used to ask me. For those of you who don't know, I'm a 29-year AIDS victor. August marks 29 years that
Beautiful.
I found out I was HIV, and they gave me 9 years to live. And I was like, no, I got to hang out with Sheena in 29 years.
Exactly.
yo.
I haven't met Sheena yet. I can't go till I meet
Hello.
Sheena.
Whatever. And but I had full-blown AIDS for 15 years, almost 16 years. And Dee used to ask me, what would you be? Who would you be if you didn't have AIDS? And definitely for a while, AIDS became kind of like a crutch because it was kind of like, oh, I can't go. I don't feel good. And I didn't. I mean, I really didn't feel good most of the time.
Right.
And I had 4 T cells, and I was always struggling with my health. But it was like, who would I be, if I didn't have that?
Right. If that wasn't your
I was
story.
like 100. Right. That was the story I was telling. So I changed it, and when I changed my story, I literally changed my story, and within 3 months, I didn't have AIDS anymore.
Yeah.
And they started calling me Miracle Mike. So it really is. Our words carry weight. Our words carry power. And that's why, we need to be careful what we say, and even more so, what we don't say, right? Because people, and you all know these people, these passive-aggressive people that don't communicate and don't say, like, if they're mad, or if I do this all the time. I don't anymore because I learned my lesson the hard way. But, people, like, don't tell you if they're upset. They don't, so they carry it and stuff. And that carries even sometimes more weight.
Yeah.
But we need to be careful with our words, because whatever you say, you do create. You really do. I'm a firm believer in that we do create our reality. And then people go, well, what about all these people who died in an earthquake? Did they create what? That's the point, is that it's about you. It's not about them. It's about what are you creating as an individual.
Yeah.
Don't, that for me, when people say that, I just want to, pimp slap them.
Yeah.
It's like stuff happens, things happen, and that's supposed to raise our awareness, like 9/11 and the Holocaust and earthquakes and the floods. What happened in the Bahamas, it's mind blowing to me that's happening. But how is this going to affect me? How am I going to become a better person? I'm going to donate. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to help. I'm going to raise the vibration.
Yep.
As much as I can.
I talk about this all the time when I teach. I teach an empath awareness class. It's at whydoifeeleverything.com. And part of it is just teaching people who are empaths, you can't allow yourself to be crippled by everything you see around you in the world. These things happen. There are things that are acts of God, acts of man, darkness, light. Everything isn't always rosy. No. And so you have to find a way to continue to bring the light. In spite of seeing things that are dark, like a video on Facebook that upsets you, or what's going on to our Bahamian brothers and sisters right now. All of these things are beautiful things, but it's beautiful to have the gift of being an empath. But then when you see the things that are awful, you can't let that stop you in your tracks. You can't just live for the beautiful things and expect you're never going to see something that breaks your heart. And you have to look at the Bahamian people and how they're fighting back, as we saw our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters fight back last year, and see the beauty in these people that are working to survive, and people who are already going there to bring supplies, and see the good. It doesn't mean you're ignoring the bad or the areas where humans need to get better and evolve.
No, and let me just say that this is, and I just got this right now, I'm feeling this right now, is that I just feel like, because I've signed so many NDAs in this business. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
And I've signed it many times for celebrities that I'm not allowed. Like, people have no idea the people I've worked with, because I really can't talk about it.
Right.
I feel like all of us have signed an NDA with the universe, and I feel like that we can't judge why these things happen. It's like all of those people, if they've perished or something happens to them, they have an agreement with the universe.
Exactly.
With God, with Buddha, with Allah, whoever it is, they've got their own personal relationship with the universe. So you can't be like, well, what about, they all signed an NDA with the, you know what I mean?
Right, yes.
Like, they had an agreement. It's like, you know what? I'm going to come, and then I said, I'm going to come and I'm going to contract AIDS right after I become comfortable with being gay. It's like, I was comfortable being in my gay skin for like 2 months, and then I found out I had HIV, and I was like, really, God? Really?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
And I actually contemplated suicide the first week, and I was at the ledge of my building, and not a lot of people know that. Now it's like public, but
thank you for sharing that.
But I was just like, because I was in a cult for 6 years that was like, being gay is a sin. You go to hell, you die, you go in hell. And when I finally became positive and accepted who I was as a gay Christian man, I contracted HIV. And I was like, what?
See, and I'm so thankful that I never had to deal with that, because whatever I was, my mom was completely 100% accepting. And that was such a gift for me. That's why it's so important for me to work as a minister within the MCC church, which was founded by folks who were kicked out of their churches for being gay, so that everybody and now to do an interfaith service there and bring people of all different faiths there, so that we can start to think like, you know what, we're all the same people, we're all the same faiths. And I can't wait to get you involved in one of those, Michael. You will see, it's like, wow, there's different people of all different spiritual bents talking right now. And everybody, it's just love. Nobody's thinking about, is this my thing? And it doesn't mean you can't go back to your thing and love it. Go back to your church, your temple, your mosque, and enjoy being part of your cathedral, and enjoy being part of who you are and what religion you grew up in. But then understand that one religion is like all other religions, and it's under the umbrella of one source of God, and it's one God for everybody. Right. And when I first told people I had taken this job at MCC and I was going to be teaching, I was going to be the New Age pastor preaching about Jesus as a metaphysician, people were like, what? And I thought, but wait a minute, to me, Jesus is the grooviest metaphysician there ever was.
Oh, yeah.
But, we live too much in our cultural heads of what we're taught to believe. And not what's really true. And I think that's something that...
Exactly. And I mean, and Jesus still is my best friend. Jesus has been for most of my life and always will be. I love Jesus with all of my heart. And I consider myself, I am definitely a born-again Christian. I live by the values and what Jesus taught. And I'm a gay born-again Christian. Yeah, I am. And I, because of that, I've actually gotten to educate. I educated GLAD, the group GLAD.
Absolutely.
I completely educated all of their staff and volunteers about the 6 clobber passages, because they were always getting attacked by the right wing and the fundamentalists. And I said, no, this is what those passages really mean.
Right, exactly.
The Bible, just so you know, the Bible says nothing about homosexuality.
Not at all.
The word wasn't even in there until 1947 when someone put it in there.
Put it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with homosexuality. Those 6 passages, nothing at all.
Yeah.
It has to do with procreation. And the Romans one, I love how they throw out the Romans one. And I tell people, listen, when you read anything that's historical context, you have to take it in context.
Yes.
You have to see
please,
who they are reading to.
Yes.
When they are reading it.
Yes.
And why they are reading it.
Yes.
So let me just explain really quick with Romans, and then we're going to talk more. I'm going to do the explanation about 9/11 again, because there are some people who were waiting for 6 o'clock for this. So Romans.
I got
Paul,
Michael going on the Bible now. Here we go.
Paul, I'm a born again Christian minister, just so you know, and I love Jesus. I went to Bible college. I'm going to go visit my college. Well, I'll tell you about that later.
Okay, good.
Anyway, so Romans 1, it's Paul. He's talking to the Romans who live in Rome, and it's I think 42 AD. It's like the year 42, and the Romans at the time, it says that about becoming an atrocity if you sleep with the same sex and stuff. And Paul was telling the Romans who believed that if they went into the temple and had sex with a temple prostitute, they would become closer to God. So the men would go in and have sex with the male
I think there's a lot of
prostitutes.
people who still believe that.
And there were women it was mostly men. They would go in and have sex with the temple prostitutes. There were a lot of those back then. And Paul said...
There's a lot of those now.
Paul said, no, that's not how you become closer to God. No. So again, that's who he was talking to. That's what it was in context with. It had nothing to do with homosexuality. It had to do with temple prostitutes. There, I'm done. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about 9/11.
All right, good.
Hi, Elizabeth. I know Elizabeth is probably listening right now.
She's like, I just turned it in.
Our wonderful
we're talking
leader.
about temple prostitutes. What's going on? Did I turn into the wrong show? What happened to the
Hi,
temple
Elizabeth.
prostitute? Hi,
Elizabeth is one of my heroes. I can't
Mm.
even tell you how much she has completely transformed my life on so many levels as a teacher, as a friend, as an activist, as a human being. She has brought such I want to say feminine realism into my life. Is that even a word?
Why not?
Because she's so feminine, but she's so tough and she's so real. And she's from New York, and I'm from Boston, which I always call like mini New York. Like
Okay.
it's like here's New York, and then here's Boston.
Okay.
So it's like a mini New York. But
It's one of the far-reaching suburbs of New York.
Yeah, it is, okay, where we park our cars. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even, I would be here, the whole show would be about Elizabeth gratitude. I have so much gratitude
I
for
love
her
that.
and what she does and who she represents and the gift that she gives to actors. Guys, if you're an actor and you're listening, you need to get to her class now. Like go, audit, come and meet her because she will completely transform your acting career. Completely transform your acting career. She brings you to a whole different level. You can go in there thinking, yeah, I'm a great actor. No. And then you listen to her just after one or two classes and you're completely transformed. I can't say enough. I love you, Elizabeth. Anyway.
It's wonderful.
So hi.
And such a personal thing for this for her, this show.
It is.
Really
It
quick,
is.
tell everybody how they can see the show and how they can get tickets, and then we'll talk more about 9/11.
Absolutely.
And we'll probably, I can't guarantee we're not going to get spiritual because that's what we do.
Sure. I mean, yeah. So the 9 to 11, it's called the 9 to 11 minute stories and plays inspired by the events of 9/11. You can find us on Facebook. We have a page. It's just type in 9 to 11 and we'll come up. We'll probably be the first thing that comes up. It's 2TO, not the letter 2, not the number 2. We have tickets on brown paper bags right now. The brown paper tickets. Yes, you can go on there and type in 9 to 11. It's called the Minfest. It's like a mini festival of words. It's a festival of stories. We have stories, we have plays, we have monologues, and they're all just they're so compelling and beautiful and personal and real. And I can't say enough about it. I mean, we've rehearsed. We've had 2 weeks of rehearsals. We're rehearsing again tonight, and just every week I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it just every week it's better and better. It's hard to do the rehearsals, and Elizabeth's just like, suck it up, buttercup. We're telling these stories. We're telling people stories. We're sharing about this, and it's so beautiful.
Really, do some actors get freaked out and not want to do it? I would think it would be exactly what every actor wanted, a chance to really jump into something that's so real and so beautiful.
Well, I think that you as an actor, we do want to stretch ourselves, and we want to do great things. This is a great thing. So the actors that are in this are phenomenal.
Right. Are they all from the class?
Most of them are. Most of them are. Two of them, my friends Nick and Megan, are from a co-reading class that I take with, you know, G. Charles Wright.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I love G. Charles Wright. So they're from his class, and I approached both of them privately, and I said, you two need to come and read for this because they're such brilliant actors. They're so amazing. And they're both like, oh my God, okay, we will. And they're amazing. They're so
that's
great.
wonderful.
Yeah. But everyone else is in the class. Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We study with our amazing Elizabeth.
Isn't that great?
She is our teaching guru.
That's why. And how long do you rehearse for?
We do a whole run through of the show, and then Elizabeth gives notes. And I give notes too because we're both like co-directing it. So we both we give notes and stuff. And but everyone, I got to say, you know, the actors don't really need notes because they're bringing it. And the night itself, everyone's going to have their scripts with them because it's more of a reading, but we just want people to know how they're feeling when they're actually doing it. So the rehearsals have been extremely beneficial.
Sure. That's wonderful. Yeah. When you have a great director or directors and you have great actors and you're doing a reading, you don't really need that much rehearsal.
Yeah. And we do have great directors. don't we, Elizabeth?
Right, that's what I meant. Exactly.
Yes, we do.
And actors that are wonderful at cold read, if you're good at that, that's a lot of what a reading is. You have to be able to interpret the same way you have to interpret, even though you've practiced it. There's a whole different thing with memorization. And I know I talked about this when you were here with Elizabeth last year. I like it because it has there's an honor that's being paid to the word, to the literature when
you're reading it.
When you're reading it,
Yes.
I just got a little distracted there. Someone's trying to call in.
Arena.
Oh, I didn't know she was calling in. I thought she was coming in, but when I didn't see her, I thought she wasn't coming.
She's.
Does she have the number?
She does.
818-602-4929. I'm not seeing any missed calls or anything. She might be calling the wrong number. We're here. I called you.
We're here. We're queer. Well, I am. She's
half.
She's
Half.
Yeah,
That's queer. So that's fine. Yeah, I am. I think if you're any part, you're queer.
I always said I had a boss once who she stalked me for a while. Writing a story about that.
She in love with you?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I
stopped doing that in high school.
I used to joke because I ran her company for a while. I used to joke, and because I would put, like, it would say Employee of the Month, and I would have my picture up there.
Oh my God, that's
every
fantastic.
month as a joke. It was just as a joke because everybody was great that I was working with. But she would say, I come in sometimes at night and I hold your picture and I just look at you and I just love you. I'm like, oh, really? And I'm thinking, I really need this job. I'm making a lot of money here. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, what am I going to do? And she asked me. She said, well, you it says it's going to an automated message for
That's
LA Talk Radio.
Very strange.
So I think we're probably gonna have to call her.
Yeah.
Right?
Why don't you why don't you send me a text message with her number?
Okay.
Because we don't want to give her number out on the air.
Okay.
Because then she'll hate us. I give my number out on the air. 818-437-0886. Oh, 555. Oh my God, like it's the 70s again.
555.
That's hysterical.
Right. I love all those numbers are.
Oh my God, they were all
555. 1222.
Wasn't it a strange time? I watch reruns sometimes late at night when I'm sleeping. Wasn't it a strange time when all the music was kind of this pat music? There was no like real songs, and it was a strange time.
Was.
All right, I'm gonna call her.
All right. So guys, our website is you can go on Facebook, type in 9 to 11 minutes, and it should come right up, our page. And our website is 9 to 11 minutes stories. I'm going to shorten it. I apologize, Elizabeth. I'm going to just shorten it to 9 to 11 Minfest so people can find it easier. But our website is 9 to 11 minutes, minute stories and plays .com. And we're also on Instagram as well. And they can find us on the Brown Paper Tickets.
BrownPaperTickets.com.
And I'm going to actually go there right now and look. And so it starts the show. The show. I mean, the readings begin at 7:30. We're going to have red carpet arrivals at 7, so people can come earlier. The doors should be open by, I would say, 7:10, 7:15.
Okay.
The doors will be open, and the show will go probably until 10.
Okay.
We have an intermission. We end the first half of the show with Elizabeth's centerpiece, Happy Sweet 16.
Okay.
And then we do an intermission, and then we begin again, and then we stop at 9/11, no matter even if it's the middle of a presentation.
Oh.
And we do a moment of silence.
Oh, I love that.
At 9/11.
So beautiful.
And then we finish the presentations, and then we end it we have little lights that we light up, little candle lights.
Oh, I love that.
And then we read the names of all the people who have passed in the last year from the 9 to 11 illnesses. And while we're doing the whole show, while we do the whole presentation, we do have the names scrolling on the wall as well for people to see as well. Okay, Mike just said he texted you the number 2. We're calling.
They're calling her right now.
Arena.
It's ringing.
And Arena wrote an amazing piece.
Nope, it said she's unavailable.
Arena? Girl.
Something strange is going on. Let me double check the number.
What is going on?
I don't know what's going on. Something, I put it in and I called it. Let's double check the number.
Is Mercury in retrograde?
It's not though, is it?
I don't think so. Hello.
All right, let's try it again.
I think it ended on August 31st. Not that I follow those things.
Yeah, we don't have them every 5 seconds.
No.
All right, let's try this again. Here we go. Honestly, I was not preparing for this because I just figured when she didn't come in at 6 o'clock, she was on her way or plans had changed, because plans change, and I don't often bring up, hey, is she coming? Because then it sounds weird if the answer is nope, she's not.
Oh, I'm just saying that we're live there.
We are on Facebook. That's why I had you look in the camera. Let's try again. Try this again. Shall we try this again?
Yes, let's try it again.
How does she say her last name?
Arena Holloway. Oh,
Holloway.
Oh, there she is. Wait.
Hang on. I'm calling her right now. Tell her I'm calling her.
Arena, we're calling you.
It's ringing.
It's ringing.
Oh, I think she's there. Arena, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how are you? Good to have you, sweetheart. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry about that. I thought you were coming. I didn't know you were calling, and so I was just waiting for you to see your pretty face, and we never got the call, so I called you.
Oh, no worries. Thank you. I'm at home with my baby girl, and
so beautiful.
I'm getting ready for class later, and so it's just hard for me to get over there right now.
No, I totally get it. It's so great to have you here. So tell us really quick about your involvement, your history in the 9 to 11 plays.
Sure. So I assist with organizing the event.
She is a
working with
co-producer.
Elizabeth.
Arena, you're not an assistant. You are a co-producer. You
Well,
do
thank
so
you.
much more. You are a co-producer. I'm sorry. I just had to throw.
No, that's okay.
She is amazing. She does so much.
It's totally okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm just adjusting
Go
your
ahead.
volume levels a little bit.
Oh,
'cause
sorry.
Arena's really quiet, and Michael has a big actor voice. Arena.
Sorry. Okay, be quiet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great,
Yes.
sweetie. So you're an associate producer, but you like to pretend that you just help out with things. I remember that from last year.
I try. I just do my best. But it means a lot to do this because a lot of people don't really talk about September 11th, at least out here in Los Angeles. And I'm originally from the suburbs of Washington, D.C., and I was in school at the time when a plane hit the Pentagon.
Oh, man.
So for me, it was a very, close to home event and personal because so many people I grew up with and who live in that area where I grew up work at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing, it covered for so long when I was still living out there up until about 6 years ago. So it just means a lot to bring awareness to this event because not only have people died, but there are people that are still dying because of the illnesses they got as a result of being in the area of where these attacks happened. And I'm sure Michael brought this up, and a lot of people know about Jon Stewart really helping with the Feel Good Foundation and going down to Capitol Hill and campaigning and basically getting, representatives to sign off on a bill that provides assistance and funds to help these people who are dying and who are sick and their families.
Yeah.
So it just means a lot to do this. And obviously with Elizabeth, I've known Elizabeth for, I guess about 3 years now. And we met in a bereavement group and she was there for her father who passed away from 4 different types of 9/11 cancers. So I also know that side of it, and it makes it personal in that way as well. And I just really like working with Elizabeth and Michael and all of our great actors and Mike Pingle and everyone.
Mike Pingle.
Mike Pingle.
Why isn't Mike Pingle here taking a selfie with me today?
I know, right?
Wow. Mike Pingle.
Our Pingle boy.
He's off somewhere with Chico's Angels.
Yeah, Mike Pingle is great, and he's been wonderful in helping us
Yeah.
promote this event. We hope people come out for it because you can learn so much, and these are lovely pieces that were written. I wrote one piece that's more about the Pentagon that's featured in this year's event like it was last year, but there's so many amazing pieces that are part of this, and it's just a wonderful way to remember and honor these people.
I agree.
So I hope everyone come. You need to
Yes,
come.
buy your tickets now. Don't say you're coming, then don't buy a ticket. Buy your tickets today. Go and buy.
LA people, and buy your tickets at 7:30 on show night.
Exactly.
That's such an LA people thing, right? Whenever I direct a charity production, going up like a week before, I'm always like, oh my God, seriously, we've sold 14 tickets. And then the 48 hours before, it just gets crazy.
Yep.
And I have to, and then, it's the day of, and I'm trying to rehearse with my actresses, and I'm also confirming payments and writing a list out from PayPal. It's craziness.
Well, can I just, and on that note too, let me just say we do live in a city of actors, and a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't know if they can make it because they may be working.
Yes.
Like in every other city in the world, people work 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So they know their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But here, people work 9 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 12, 1 to 5. Nobody knows when they're working.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, of the 8 people who have told me they are planning on coming, they don't know if they're going to be working.
Yeah.
And that's the city that we live in. And
Elizabeth
and I and Arena are like, commit already. Just buy your ticket.
But
and if you don't go, you made a donation. It's
I
okay.
know, but I know, but people get weird about that. I get it. I get it.
We go to your stuff. We're just saying.
We live in a strange world, my friends.
Yeah.
We live in a strange world.
And I love, though, because I have a couple of friends. I'm not going to say their names, and I love them. But they'll always, when they post something, they'll say, I go to your stuff all the time. Why aren't you coming to mine?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What's up with tit for tatty, friends?
I know.
I said tit on the air, but it's okay because it was followed by for tat.
So or mouse. You can say mouse.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. But I mean,
what's up with that? I mean, it's like, are we scorekeeping now? Is that what
no.
love is?
We're not scorekeeping, but the universe is.
Look, I don't expect anybody to come to any of my stuff. If you come, fantastic. If you don't, fantastic. But to start making a tally of who comes where,
they didn't
or who's doing what, well, guess what? If I have you on the radio show, it counts for 5 attendances. So, because a lot of the times I'm not at your show because I'm here promoting somebody else's show, like I did for you.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, people. I think that some folks just they don't have a lot going on. Like, we're all super busy people.
Yeah.
When you don't have a lot going on, everything you do is really important. And also, we live in a world, right? Like we talked about earlier, where everything is very directed towards, we live in a me time. Yeah. It's funny because they said the 70s were the me generation. I'm like, oh my God, that was just the start. Did they know what was coming?
I thought the 80s was the me.
No, 70s was what they called the me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, and like
I had said earlier. The 80s was the cocaine generation.
I had said earlier, too, is that, I mean, a few people I've talked to, they're like, well, that's so sad. I'm like, you know what? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel that. Come out for the night.
Sure.
It's a safe place. It's therapeutic. There are people there. There are powerful pieces. There are powerful readers that are coming out. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to have a night where you're remembering the people who have passed. And you're hearing stories of the people who survived who are actually there.
Right.
And like I said earlier, people go and they pay more money to go see like violence and movies and stuff and go to see gory things. And this is a beautiful, real show where we're hearing real stories. They're not made up. They're not make-believe. They're real stories of what actually happened to people. And they're telling it in their stories when they're coming out. So come out and appreciate what they've done, because the people who tell their stories are so vulnerable. The people who have written them and the actors that are reading them, they're very vulnerable. So come out and honor them and honor the people who are sharing their stories with us, because they're so amazing. You're going to walk away so high in a beautiful way, because you're going to be so lifted up and so encouraged, and you're just going to be thinking of like, what were you doing that day? And how, you're just going to have so many feelings come up. Come out and feel those, especially if you're in the business. It's good for you. It actually will help you. You'll become a better actor if you come on next Wednesday night at 7:00. You'll be a better actor, honestly, because it's just, I can't say enough about how powerful it is. And the actors we have are mind-blowingly like Tony Award winning potential actor. They're just so amazing. And they're putting their time and their love and their joy and their strength into them. and it's just amazing. I just can't.
Well, and it also make you a better American. We were talking, Arena, before you got here about like how I think that there's just been a general underlying spiritual depression in our country since 9/11 that has gone untreated and we really haven't taken care of.
Elizabeth just said that last week. Didn't she, Raina? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Yeah.
That's why people should take the time to come out, because it
One night
helps.
only.
I really do. Talking about it.
Yeah.
One night only. It's just for one night, guys.
Do you think sometimes it's hard to get folks out because it's that day? Because I find that a lot of people still, even though it was so many years ago, shut down on that day.
Yeah.
And some of them don't even really consciously realize they're shutting down on that day. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think that's correct. And I think people, especially who were personally affected or who lived in those areas, or even out here, if it really affected them across the world, it may feel like, it's hard to get out. Like you said, it's hard to be in front of it and see it and hear it. And that's understandable, of course.
Yeah.
But it's horrific what happened. And it's horrific to think that, it could happen again. And it's just, there was nothing that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
It leaves me speechless when I think about it, because it's hard. It really is hard.
Yeah. Do you think that you would have grown up a different person, Arena, had you not had that experience as a young person?
Yes, I think so. I really do. I mean, I feel as though, from that moment on, it felt as though, for example, with airplanes, I shared this, I think with Elizabeth last year. It makes me, when I get an airplane now, I feel like, oh my gosh, could something happen? And
yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
That point.
Yeah. You have to wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, every single time. I was just on a flight last weekend for my husband's family reunion in the Midwest, and we went back there, and I'm with my baby girl. And that makes it even harder, having a child now, to think that this is the world we live in, that anything can happen, and there's nothing I could do to save her or help her if something happens. It's so incredibly heart-wrenching. And I feel like I've lived in a state of fear. And then, there's all these other things happening with the shootings and everything that seems so random and regular now.
Yeah.
It's terrorism in the country, not just, so we live in a totally different world where this is reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is because of 9/11. We talked about this when Michael first got on the phone with me in the last hour, that when something like that happens and a lot of people go to a fear place, the way that they react to the fear is they're looking for who's their enemy. And that really opened up and grew the divisiveness in our country. Yeah. Because people started thinking that maybe everybody who wasn't, fearful white people started thinking everybody who wasn't white was their enemy. And, my mama used to always say, too many white people in one place is never a good thing. She said that when we moved to Orange County, she was like, oh, she saw my first day of 8th grade. She's like, oh, honey, too many white people in one place is never a good thing. And, my parents were both New Yorkers, and I'm from New Haven. So, close to home for me, too. I mean, in that area. And close to home for me because I was a talk radio host at the time. And my job at the time afterwards was for a month to talk about 9/11. And to hear people's stories and how fearful people were. And sometimes people would call and they would just cry the whole time. You couldn't even hear what they were saying. But you know what? That's okay. If you have to call and just cry, you call and you just cry.
So come out and cry next Wednesday, you guys. It's okay.
Yeah, I bet everybody cries.
It's a safe place. We'll have lots of Kleenex boxes.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
We're going to have so much Kleenex because it's just during rehearsal, there's a lot of crying.
Do you seriously provide Kleenex on the nights?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There will be Kleenex. Note to self, get Kleenex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Arena's like, yes, I'm writing a production note now. Get Kleenex.
I am actually writing a note.
funny because when I read in a
Come
group,
out and cry. I love that. You know what? It's good. It's really good. Just come out and cry.
come out and cry.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all about that.
It's a safe space for people
Safe
to do
space,
that too.
yep, yep.
That's
Yeah.
important to know.
Yep.
Safe space is important.
Amen.
Absolutely. For
Amen.
all of us, we all need that. Especially artists should come and see this because,
Absolutely.
artists that we talked about this earlier too, Arena, that artists are so empathic
Yes.
and we can't tune out what we see around us in the world. We have to find a way to deal with it and
Yeah.
retain our hope and our positivity.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah. And that's what makes it, I think, one of the reasons it's so hard for our actors, and we're, part of that group, obviously, but just those who weren't even as informed on what happened and what's going on today as a result of it with the Feel Good Foundation, they feel it so much. And when they're performing, like Michael said, we need cleanups during our rehearsals because it touches us so much.
Michael always
And
has a
you're
bag
reading
of tricks.
From Andrew Christensen from Saddle Up LA. It was in my goodie bag.
Oh.
Thank you, Andrew Christensen.
Oh,
the designer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
As you're talking so serious, I just want you to know Michael's fanning himself with a rainbow fan.
It's hot. I don't know
Oh
if
my
it's the
God.
coils. Is it maybe the coils or, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a little air conditioner going in here and a
Yeah,
fan.
but it's pointed to you.
Well, that's because Mama passes out if it doesn't. It's supposed to cool the whole room. It's Arctic air. It's cooling the. Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost passed out in a Walmart on Memorial Day.
You did?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
What?
Yeah, I had okay, so here's the short story. So I had an episode, an accident happened to me at the end of July, and I suffered a severe electrolyte imbalance. The room went spinning and I almost passed out from dehydration and an electrolyte drop. And somehow, I think we're finally figuring out what's going on with me. Somehow when your electrolytes get very low, it compromises your immune system. And while my immune system was compromised, this bacteria fungal infection kind of came into my body and through my stomach because of the lack of potassium and magnesium and has kind of spread around. So it's manifested as like really bad gut problems, sinus infections. The gut problems have aggravated my vagus nerve, which has caused an irregular heartbeat. And I get really, really overheated. So I literally cannot function if it's not cool. So I bought an Arctic air fan to keep in the studio so that I always stay cool. And it's actually quite lovely. I started running them when I do my videos from home. And I thought, oh my God, it's going to sound terrible. Everybody's like, no, it's actually really soothing. So between that and Michael's yin yang things, we're all set up here. But, it's been a year of like freak things happening. Irene, I know Michael knows, but I was workshopping a musical last year and they didn't put the reflective tape down opening night and I fell off the stage. So,
oh my God.
So literally since January, my life has been learning to walk again and now learning to deal with this infection that I have to cleanse out of my system naturally.
Yeah.
Because if you take antibiotics, it just dings your immune system worse and then the problem starts all over again.
Yep.
So I literally I can eat 3 things and I'm just flushing it out with water and magnesium and supplements and spices and love and faith and hope. And that's why no one's hardly seen me this year except on the air and on my bed. So, yeah,
Well,
so that's...
I hope you're getting better.
Oh,
my
I'm good.
goodness.
I am
This is
slowly
all-
but surely starting to get better the last couple days now that they figured out what's going on. But it was really kind of everybody like, gosh, we don't know what's wrong with you kind of a thing. So keep your immune systems
goodness.
healthy, my friends. Sugar kills. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. God.
Keep your immune systems healthy.
Yeah, that's... Well, certainly going to get back on that. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, are you?
No, I mean...
Do you go on and off the sugar?
I've always been really healthy, but after I had my daughter, I was more, I started eating things I didn't normally eat.
Oh, yeah.
and so it was like I was eating chicken when I was pregnant, and I don't eat meat.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's
very
right.
interesting.
That's very common, though. You watch when she grows up, she's going to want chicken all the time.
Uh-huh.
Does she love chicken?
Even, she's kind of just sitting back and eating everything that I give her. So, but meat's not part of it yet, but it will be.
Okay. Okay. She's going to be a chicken eater. It's a thing.
Okay,
no, it's
it's
totally a thing. I'm telling you, my mom didn't like turkey. And when she was pregnant, all she wanted to eat was turkey on sourdough bread with pickles and mayonnaise. And that's like my favorite sandwich.
Are you serious?
So I have to tell Lorena something. She's going to be very proud of me. All of our mutual friends, Michael Vaccaro, gave myself and Bob a vegan challenge. So when I come back from he looks amazing. He lost 20 pounds.
Oh.
So Bob and I are going to do the vegan challenge. I have a trip coming up that I can't really talk about right now, but when I come back, Bob and I are going to do a vegan week.
Okay.
We're going to he challenged us to go vegan for a week.
Okay.
So we're going to go vegan for a week and then see how we feel.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't eat a lot of red meat and stuff. I do
chicken
turkey,
and fish.
chicken, and fish.
Yeah.
I don't do the, Oh, did we lose her or did we get somebody?
I don't know what happened. I think maybe
Arena,
we lost
you there?
her. I think maybe our Skype just kicked her off.
Arena?
That horrible Skype. What was it thinking? Let me go find it and get it back on again. Yeah. That was a strange noise.
So
you're going to do the vegan challenge?
I am. I'm doing the vegan challenge, yeah.
I'm doing the I eat 5 things that I'm allowed to eat. So, and a bunch of different spices. I have to throw all these spices on everything I eat because the spices are killing the bacteria. It's like the old school, right? You'd go to the shaman and they would give you all the spices to eat. And that's what you would do. Oh, she's back. Here we go. Welcome back.
Hi.
Sorry we lost you.
Hello.
Did you freak out when Michael said he was doing the vegan challenge and hang up your phone?
So just so you know, guys, if you go to Brown Paper Tickets, look on here. All I typed in was 9 to 11, and we come up first. So if you go to Brown Paper Tickets, you'll find ours right there, where the first thing that pops up.
Beautiful.
Just so you know, that's the easiest way to find it. So, yay, brownpapertickets.com. And just type in under search events 9 and then TO11, and there we are.
Beautiful.
Yay!
And are you, Arena, are you doing something this year in the show? I remember last year you weren't.
Yeah, I wrote a piece for the event, and it's
and you're doing it yourself. Okay.
Well, no, I'm not doing that one. Actually, I'm doing another one.
Okay.
Someone else is going to be doing my piece that I wrote. But I'm excited to also have a little bit of the perspective in DC, the DC area involved, and it's hopefully people enjoy or can not necessarily enjoy, but can feel some sort of feel like it's okay to be sad or feel like they can understand that or whatever it may be.
Right.
On the whole event.
Right, because we can't discount how important that was.
Yeah.
For the DC people. We can't forget about DC people.
And absolutely. Yeah. Because, and her story is great. I mean, it's an amazing story. And just what you went through. And I had forgotten about that piece. And when I heard it read at the first rehearsal, I was like, oh my God, I forgot she went through that.
How old were you at the time, sweetheart?
I was 16.
Oh, man. All right.
And we were in school, and, it was before smartphones. We had cell phones, but there were no smartphones, and we weren't allowed to watch what was going on in the news. I remember my teacher turning off the TV, and I'm thinking, our world's coming to an end, and we have to turn off the TV in the classroom? Like, what? I mean, hello?
Right.
Because no one knew, early on what really was going on.
No.
Right.
So it was really hard being in the not knowing what was happening and then feeling very scared in general, not knowing if more stuff was going to happen in our area too.
Right.
And then just sitting with my family that night and watching the news and just how horrible it was, and having the day off from school the next day because of everything that had happened.
Mm. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an influential age for that to happen.
Yeah.
I was in my early 30s, and it was hard for me too.
Yeah, hard for everyone, I feel like.
So guys, come out so you can hear Arena's story, her personal story, what she went through. It's remarkable. I mean, like I said, when I reheard it 2 weeks ago at the rehearsals, and I was like, wow, I forgot about that story. It's really amazing. I can't believe she went through it. I'm like, I don't know how I would have handled it.
Sweetie, how come you don't do your own? Does nobody do their own, or was that your choice?
It was my choice, and I mean, Elizabeth plays a role in one of her pieces, but a lot of the pieces were written by people that aren't actually in the event.
Sure.
They may live in other places.
Sure.
So it's just kind of how it's played out for us.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a good choice. I just was curious.
Yeah, Jim said the same thing. Jim was just like, I don't think I can read my own piece.
Okay.
Because I think I mean, I lose it when I read somebody else's piece. I can't imagine reading.
Oh my goodness.
My own piece.
The piece that you read, Michael, there's a piece, I hope people come and the piece is wonderful because it's also a different perspective on that day. Yeah. And you do such a great job, Michael.
Thank you. I love it's so amazing. I'm so honored to read that piece of what this guy went through. He was a news director, I think on the West Coast, because he said he was 3 hours behind.
Wow.
And what he went through that day is just, oh my God. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to be tonight. I hope I can get through it.
Wow.
Yeah. What he went through.
Have you written a piece, Michael?
I haven't. I'm working on mine. Mine, because I was supposed to be on the plane a week before coming from Boston.
Wow.
Because I was back east a week before for like Labor Day, and I was actually supposed to come home the week of September 11th, and I changed my flight to come home a week earlier, and I found out that some of the terrorists were I was staying at a hotel downtown in Boston with two friends on like the 23rd floor, and we heard fighting at like 3 a.m. And someone woke us up, and it was definitely foreigners like fighting, and we had no idea what was going on. It turned out it was two of the terrorists were like right down the hall from us in our hotel.
Wow.
And then we went up to Ogunquit, Maine. There was like 40 of us. It was a whole group of us, a big gay party going on up there. And the terrorists were like 2 days behind us.
Wow.
Same pathway going up. But they were in the same hotel that we were staying in, and we had no idea. We just thought they were people like fighting at 3 a.m.
Oh goodness.
So, but I mean, I was woken up by the voice of my godmother saying, Michael, you're lucky you changed your flight. You got to go turn on the TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like 6 a.m. and I went and turned on the TV, and then I saw the second plane.
Wow.
And I literally was watching and thinking, what am I watching? I really didn't think it was real. I did not think it was real. I thought it was some kind of like a prank or something.
Yeah.
It was very surreal. I'm like, what? And I'm talking to my godmother, Betsy. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What am I watching?
Yeah.
I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. My eyes were just like, what? So yeah, it was really, and then of course, like everyone else, I mean, I spent the entire day in front of the TV, and I think the next 3 days.
Yeah, I spent it in front of a microphone. I remember I turned on the radio first, and there was news on. I don't know. I turned on a music station, and there was news on, and they were talking about Madonna canceling a concert, and I thought, and that was when everyone was canceling concerts for sore throats. And I thought, oh God, not Madonna too. Really canceling a concert for a sore throat? And I feel that I thought that, and then they started listing things that were closed, and I thought, well, what are they talking about? And this is in LA, things that had shut down because the rumor was it was coming here next. So I turned on the television, and that was when the first plane was already in. The second plane hadn't gone in yet.
Yeah.
The first plane was stuck in there and it was smoking, and everybody was like, was this just a plane crash? What is this? Nobody really knew yet. So I saw the second plane go in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think it's surreal. I think even I think we all haven't really dealt with it and how it made us feel.
And I love that, not love, but Elizabeth basically says exactly what you say, that we have not allowed ourselves to fully heal.
Yes.
From 9/11.
I agree.
Like no one has. There's no one that has fully recovered from that. When we think about that, and it's impacted our life. And really, people just need to start to heal and stop with the hatred, stop with the bashing, and just start to embrace each other and embracing these stories and hearing these stories. And and our goal is for it to become a documentary.
Oh, really?
And
beautiful.
And by the
as it is as a reading.
Some behind the scenes stuff too.
Okay.
And we want to do that by the 20th anniversary, which is in 2 years.
Oh, I love that.
So we're definitely working on that and stuff. And it's just so important to tell your story. And like our friend Coco Peru says all the time, we all have a story to tell, and we should not be afraid to tell it. And we need to embrace other people's stories. And this is a powerful one night only time to come out and embrace these incredible stories. They're just incredible. Elizabeth has written, I think, 3 pieces. I think she has a new one tonight too, but her pieces are just amazing. They're just so heartbreaking and amazing. And I just, I'm honored to be a part of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I'm amazed more people don't do things for 9/11.
I know.
Are you amazed at that, Arena?
Yeah, I am. I feel like people, and it's obviously it happened, but I feel kind of like it's like people have forgotten on purpose, or just feel like, oh, well, that's something that happened years ago, and that's it. And I feel like there should be more. There should be more about it, and we should be talking about it. And that's one of the reasons this is so important too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully, one of our goals is to have it happen in like New York, have the same presentation in New York, not the same one, but other stories in San Francisco, in like some of the major cities, and in some small cities, small towns too. People can gather and tell their stories. I mean, that's what we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years. We're storytellers.
It's the nature of humanity.
That's
what
who
we should
are.
always be doing.
We tell stories, and we share our stories and our history. What is that old saying? If you don't, history repeats itself.
If you fail to forget the past, you're doomed to repeat. If you fail to remember the past, you're doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that Einstein?
Yeah.
Albert Einstein?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel bad that I don't know. I should know.
If you fail to forget the past.
If you
fail to forget the past, you repeat it.
Fail to remember the past, I think. Failing to forget it is remembering it, so that's good.
Oh, Winston Churchill.
Ah, there we go.
Thank you, Winston. So come out, guys, for a wonderful, compelling, intense, amazing history lesson next Wednesday night.
Beautiful.
You'll see some beautiful, beautiful pieces, heartbreaking, amazing pieces, and you'll meet some extraordinary people. And do you want to, Arena, do you want to talk about our amazing celebrity guest reader?
Oh, yeah, please.
Catherine.
Oh, yeah, Catherine Harlan is going to be reading a beautiful piece that is heart-wrenching when you hear it. And she is a wonderful actress who has been in several TV shows and movies. And we're very excited to have her be a part of this event. She's a friend of Elizabeth. And she'll be rehearsing with us for a little bit too. And
that's
excited
wonderful
to have that more notoriety for the event.
Really quick, who is it again? Because you broke up right when you said the name, sweetheart.
Her
okay.
name
Catherine Carlin. There we go.
Catherine Carlin.
Just as you said it, sweetie, your phone.
We love Catherine Carlin.
I heard the cat and the and I didn't hear anything in between. I'm like,
she's on Sharp Objects. She's
beautiful.
starring in Sharp Objects
It's
right
a wonderful
now.
show.
with what's her
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Oh my God, I love her.
And
Enchanted, one of my favorite movies.
And the amazing Patricia Clarkson. Everything's better with Patricia Clarkson in it.
Right. Oh, and Chris Messina.
Yeah.
I know him. I've seen it before. Yeah. So come out. She's doing Angelique, which is an extraordinary, amazing piece. Every time I hear it, I cry. Elizabeth read it last week, and I had to compose myself. Yeah.
And that's one of Elizabeth's pieces?
Yes. It's something that happened to her. Arena, do you want to explain it real quick? Because it's an amazing
Elizabeth
piece.
gave birth to her first daughter 10 days after 9/11. And when she was on her way to the hospital, she said that there would be people standing outside with posters, with pictures of their loved ones who they hadn't heard from
Tons of
since
people.
the attack. And there would be people that would just stop you and say, have you seen, so-and-so? Have you heard so-and-so? And they would want to go down into the pit area, which was the area where, Elizabeth is from.
Mm-hmm.
She took those stories and had experience to create this one and write it.
It's amazing.
I don't know if I should say what happened.
No, don't.
Michael's not.
Yeah.
Michael's an anti-spoiler guy.
It's a surprise.
I don't want to spoil it, but you have an idea of what it's about.
It's extraordinary, guys. You need to come out and see it. And we will be streaming live as well on our Facebook page as well. We've been testing it over the last couple of days, and we will be streaming live. And people can also donate. If they can't go, they can donate on Venmo to at the 9 to 11 Minfest. That's our Venmo page.
Beautiful.
As well. So they can, if they can't make it and they want to donate to it, they can go to there as well.
That's beautiful. So thank you so much for being here, both of you. Arena, where can people find you online, sweetheart?
You can find me on Instagram at the Arena Holloway. And that's really the best way to see what I'm up to, what's going on. And, of course, on Facebook, but the Arena Holloway. That's where you can find me.
That's beautiful. And, Michael, where can folks find you?
At the 9/11 event next Wednesday, where you can get your tickets on brown paper tickets.
You're not going to tell us where we can find you?
Yes.
You know you want to give your websites out.
IamMiracleMike.com, Mysteries by Mike. And you can also find me on Instagram at Michael Hennessy Actor or Mikey the Mime.
Oh, you've got so many now.
I do.
Are they just mime pictures on Mikey the Mime?
Yes, on
solely
Instagram.
Mime pictures?
Yes.
Wow.
And maybe one other thing, but it's Mikey the Mime, yeah.
Oh,
I'm starting to build that one, yeah.
You're really you're miming out.
I'm doing one tomorrow. I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm going to be telling the teacher at the class about it tonight. I'm filming. I got hired to shoot something tomorrow.
Really?
As a mime.
To mime like there's no tomorrow.
I am, and I'm going to have a wife mime too. This is going to be
Mrs. Mime.
Husband and Mr. and Mrs. Mime.
I can just keep throwing them out there as long as you say them.
Know.
I got mime jokes for days.
I'm going to have a YouTube channel. I'll be speechless.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. I wish you both such luck with this. Thank you,
Thank
Lorena,
you.
for being here on the phone. Thank you for Michael for being here in studio.
And
it's
9 to
always
11,
wonderful
they
to
can
have
go
you
on
here.
Instagram as well.
Go and find this, my friends.
Yes.
I'm so excited to have you come and see this wonderful show and be a part of what goes on with these fantastic people. If you missed any of those links, SheenaMetalExperience.com, LATalkRadio.com. Find me on social media at Sheena Metal, and I will gladly pass along all of that. I am also the founder of a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and our nonprofit hub, which is RaisingTheVibration.org. And my spiritual practice is at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com and IamRaisingYourVibration.com. And also do not forget that I am a staff pastor at the Founders MCC in Hollywood. My interfaith night is Saturday Night Spiritual. You can go to SaturdayNightSpiritual.com. Our next show is September 14th at 7 p.m. That's a Saturday night. And if you're not in Los Angeles, we broadcast it all over the world. It's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. You know what happens here, my friends. I know you do. Every Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, we rip the veil off the human sideshow and expose your big old homo sapiens at their most bizarre sometimes and at their most beautiful every single day. And you know it's true, my show. It is, my friends, it is my show. But what it really is always and forever, it's your experience. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow right here on LA Talk Radio.
Irreverent, entertaining, Cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.